Hal was mired in documents, both digital and physical. He had already sent off approved bounty hunter forms to both Selena Thomas and Rutek Daenerys of Clan Rolfith, and then sent off approved right of conquest forms to the Dioshine. Right now, however, he was looking at the personnel files of the directors of the hospital residing in Orbital Ring Junction C167, as well as a list of notable donors and beneficiaries, as well as companies that had contracts with the Ring Hospital, and the beings that owned those companies. There were a lot of repeating names. Sipping at his mug of tea, he looked at the spiderweb of connecting lines of people and companies on the evidence board in his study. It had taken a while to compile, rotations, but he was beginning to see the big picture. He had thought he had a good grasp of the 5 main syndicates that were actual threats to the Woplu system. However, he had not been looking in the right places. The confession of Riek, data gleaned from recovered data queues that had been wiped, Danika's confessions, and information provided by Selena and Rutek had yielded more results than the last 4 solar rotations, and gave him pieces of the puzzle he did not even know he was missing. There were many compromised enforcement agents. Too many. Hal knew he was starting to become paranoid, and had actually pilfered evidence for fear of his life. Draining the last of his lukewarm tea, he began to exercise in his home, a routine already, straightening his body so he could use the confiscated Terra Republic Gauze pistol with only a single hand. Was it paranoia? Or were his own people really out to get him? Miv looked at the large amount of credit she had earned, suddenly thanking her friend's unknown friend. The fake identification card she had paid a lot of money for held up to intense scrutiny and allowed her to perform with the other women, instead of simply being part of custodial. While it had taken a lot of convincing to the owner, the fact that her documents held up was the final step towards the decision. While initially she went sort of unnoticed, Miv had adopted a gimmick in the form of a librarian, which proved most successful and profitable. Now at home, she was adjusting the books to take into account the new influx of money from her job. The family farm was deep in the red, and she was going to do everything she could to keep it in the family name, even if it was against the law. Though more and more recently, however, as much as she loved her father, what he had been doing to her mother's farm, especially after her passing, was becoming harder and harder to forgive and ignore. She only wondered when she would no longer be able to, and what she would do if such a thing were to pass, as she started her homework. Selena had just finished installing Jessiqua's new leg and waved her client off. She had given the young woman instructions to call if anything felt wrong or funny, and that it would take her a few rotations to get used to the fully optimized prosthetic. Now she was in front of her computer, looking at the data cube she had taken from the Tezot shop. It held a single audio file, overlaid with voice distortion on it, that gave instructions on how and where to find her and to neutralize her. There were also credits on the data cube, so said the voice, but those had already been removed, and were now, presumably, in her own account. Having little to go by, no contacts and not trusting local police, she did the only thing she could think of. She would owe a favour to someone. Looking back to her computer, she went back to designing a light gauze pistol, whose recoil her current prosthetics could handle. While she had repaired both sets of prosthetics by now, neither were combat rated, and limiter removal was a stopgap at best. For now, the illegal light gauze pistol and limiter removal would have to suffice until she could actually build her own set of combat rated prosthetics, as well as purchase the specialised materials needed for them to be built. She received an answer as she worked. While the analyzer program was running simulations on the gauze pistol she designed, and would take a while, Selena went back upstairs to her living area and found Gerd in the sunlight again. "Hey Gerd," she said, Do you think you could take me somewhere, or can I borrow your hoverbike? I need to meet someone." "I'm not letting you borrow my ride," the naked, face-down girl said from her spot in the sun. "I'll take you. I think it's my turn for an adventure with a bounty hunter." "I suppose. We can leave whenever you're ready then." "Oh, but I am," she said, wriggling her behind. "Girl, I don't care if you're topless, but your butt needs shorts or something on. Can I wear one of your skirts?" "Sure, if you can find one that fits you," Selena said, shaking her head. "Thanks," the new woman replied, getting up rear end first and going into Selena's bedroom to look for something she could pilfer. It was not long before Gerd walked out wearing only one of Selena's longest skirts. However, on the taller woman, it was rather short. "That'll do, I guess," Selena said. "You do have some cute clothes," Gerd said. "It's a pity I'm too big in all the right places or too tall to fit most of them." "Shush you," Selena replied. "I've got it where it counts." You're more than a little top-heavy, for your stature, I mean. My growth is stunted due to my prosthetics, and I'll never have a proper butt nor proportions because of them. Selina snapped back bitingly. Hey, Selina, Gert said, all joviality gone, as she realised what had just transpired. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry, okay? I know I can be a bit much, but that doesn't mean I don't have empathy. I was just trying to tease you a bit, like I would to any other friend I have. I'm sorry, okay? Selina took a deep, calming breath for free before she said something. I'm sorry for snapping like that, okay? Really. I appreciate you treating me as any other person. Because back on Earth in my early years, I wasn't. I was either picked on or treated as a glass figurine. Really, Gerd, you're a breath of fresh air, and thank you for being my friend. I mean that. Thanks, Gerd replied. Then tried to break the seriousness, she said. I know I'm a breath of fresh air. I exhale oxygen. Damn it, I try to have a moment. I know. I'm too much of a wild spirit to let those last, so in the words of your ancestors, suck it. How do you even know that? Wait, I don't want to know. Gerd simply grinned, then asked, Am I driving or are you? I think I will, so let's get going, okay? As Gerd handed Selina the key chip, Selina said to her friend, Gerd, do please keep your hands on my hips. I heard too much, and don't you dare touch my memory glands. My piercings got torn off, and my nibs are only just beginning to heal, okay? Yeesh, Gerd said. Okay, I'll leave them alone. If they're as sensitive as mine, I envy your pain tolerance. Humans simply endure, Selina said, as they both got onto Gerd's hoverbike. And one more thing, Gerd. Keep your hands out from under my skirt, okay? But it's fun, the Sprouling pleaded. Yes, it is, Selina acquiesced. But I don't need to lose focus and smash us into a wall or something, okay? That just means you need practice. Gerd, Selina exclaimed. Keep those thoughts to yourself too, okay? Yes, dear, was the only thing Gerd said. Good girl. While the ride itself was uneventful, apart from Gerd showing off her various assets to passing vehicles and gathering different kinds of responses, the journey itself took some time, and soon, the pair found themselves in front of a local diner of some kind. Parking the hoverbike and setting it into a power save mode, Selina spied a noticeable wet spot where Gerd was sitting behind her. The Sprouling merely grinned in response, did a quick lift of her skirt revealing a distinct lack of underwear, then walked into the restaurant with an exaggerated sway to her hips. When Selina walked in, she knew just where to sit, spotting a mid-pops and a strong-looking Nimian with a rather handsome face. No way, Gerd exclaimed without tact. You know Goik? Quiet you, Selina whispered, with as much venom as she could manage. This is important. Yes, ma'am. Finally settling down next to one of the big fires, Selina broke the ice, so to speak. Thank you for meeting with me. I know it was such short notice. It was no bother, came the suave voice of the much older man. Things have a way of unfolding unexpectedly. It is I that must thank you. While it may be unintentional, I find that fewer and fewer beings are willing to have discourse over a meal. Perhaps it is I that is being traditionalist. However, I find that conversation, be it mundane or grave, is always eased by a hearty meal. Additionally, I do try to find places that both parties can enjoy. If you can't tell, Madam Thomas, this is a Goik-run establishment. No, I could tell, Selina said to Goik, and I must thank you. I know this place is far from either of us. However, I think that's the real reason you chose this restaurant. Before Goik could reply, a poorly gloppy male came about and gave everyone species-specific menus. In Selina's case, she received a gloppy one. Perceptive as always, my dear, Goik replied as he perused his menu. I heard about that nasty business you dealt with on the ring. If you had managed to get to the hospital for that section, well, you would have been cared for. However, I take no offense. You did what you felt was right with the little information you had. Wait, you control the hospital for junction C167? Selina asked incredulously. I wouldn't say that, but I am a substantial donor there. I have a whole wing named after myself. That would have made things much easier, Selina said, her face in her hands for a moment. That's not why I'm here, however. She looked at Gerd, who was trying to strut her stuff as nonchalant as possible. Gerd, go have some fun. I'll probably be here a while, Selina said. The same with you, Grindel. Go find something or someone to do. Goik said as well. I need as much information as you can possibly get out of this, Selina said, putting the data cube onto the table. If there's anything there that you can use, go for it. You make a high demand, Goik replied as the meals arrived. I will return the favour. Let me think on it while we eat and while our extras enjoy themselves, She's at it again, isn't she? Your Sprouling friend? Oh, most certainly. I can't say I blame her, being here, that is. In my more wild youth, I've consorted with Sproulings. Interesting times, those. However, please, enjoy your food. It was not until dessert that Goik spoke again. This particular place serves the best children art. However, I have decided. Selena listened with her whole being. "There is something you can do for me," Greg said, eating his flan-like custard slowly with a very long spoon. "I'll need to, pull some strings, and it will be most profitable. For both of us. I feel I must let you know that I fear what will happen if I cross you. I know of your extended family, of your Uncle Robert Christian Arroyos. I very much value my life too much." "So you know about that, huh?" Selena asked, eating the recommended dessert, the same one as Greg. "You're right, this is good." "Indeed," Greg said. "What I need you to do is this."